Now I'm live. Gotta start this thing. Gonna be an interesting live today on a interesting topic. Kinda. Well, one of them are. family. Shalom, shalom. As always, we start the day with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father in heaven, honored be thy name. May thy kingdom come. May thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us each day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us on a righteous path, and guard us from the evil one. In your name we pray, and we thank you for hearing us, Father. In your name we pray. Amen. All right, everyone. I had made I don't know if that person is here today, but I did say, I'm a man of my word, and I did say today is Monday. I did say I was going to do a note on that flat earth thing. I also, I'm sure some people want to hear about this, but my wife had caught something interesting the other day, and I'm going to talk about that today. I just edited it to kind of like put this little circle there to keep track of it. But the original one, I put the original one here. And I guess I'll show the original first. I don't know if the screen would turn if I turn it, but if you got a chance to see it, it's basically came out of the cloud from the top. I seen it with my eyes. I sat there and I watched it. When my wife called me, she seen it, and then when I got there, it was still moving around. It's actually a longer one than this, but this is just a short one she just put on there. It came out. It came out from behind the cloud, and then it had moved around, and then it had went to the other side of the cloud, but it went behind the cloud. And I'm gonna show you in the one that I got. You'll see it's gonna go behind it. See, it was like this black thing that was kind of floating, and look how it went behind it. It looked like it disappeared. It's not a bug. It's not a bug. That you'll see it in the video too. You'll see that there's bugs flying around, but this one's not a bug. You can see it's kind of moving in the back right there. See how that was a bug? See how that was just to like show you. Let me see if I can slow it down so you can see the difference with the bug and the thing. Right? I'm gonna just slow it down so you can see it go. See, that's a bug right there. That black thing. My bad for clicking it. But whatever this is back there, I'm gonna click. Where's that playback speed? Just let it play normal. But I'm gonna go to one on mine, and I'm gonna let it play because I'm gonna talk about it while it's playing, right? So if you got a chance to see it came out. That's why I put an arrow there to show that it came out the side, from the top right here. See how it came out? It came out from the top, and it was just moving around. And then watch, it goes into the cloud. See how it went behind the cloud? If it was in front of the cloud, right, it would have been on this little yellow part right here. But it went behind the cloud, and watch, it's gonna come on the other side. It was a weird looking cloud too. Watch. Right there. See how it did that? It wasn't even in the front of it, it was behind it. And look how it's moving. If you look closely, the reason why I got the circle here is because you can kind of see it in the cloud too. Like you can kind of see it right there. And then look, it comes out. Look how it goes back in the back. And look at you see the bright area? The coincidence of this cloud being bright makes it easier to realize that it's going behind it. See this little bright area right here? Watch it come from behind it. You see how I did that? It was like it was playing in the clouds, like it was going in and out. I kid you, I saw it while she was recording it. She's a witness. Let's see what she say anything about it. See right there? That right there is a bug. See right there? That's a bug. That little tiny black thing. This is the 10 second mark. I'm gonna show you. See how that's kind of like more bigger, and it's way back there and it's more bigger. Look, that's a bug. You see it right here? That's a bug. This is like a net or something right here, right? Now look at this size, how the size of this, and then look at this thing. It's huge compared to that, and it's from a distance, right there. And you gotta also understand This was one of those things where I'm not, she wasn't really looking for it, but she ended up just catching it. She was actually every day, like some people, they like to take pictures of the clouds and stuff. She was just recording. She's going to take a picture of the cloud, and then boom, this thing was just moving. See? It was weird because when things like this happen, I used to see it on the internet a lot, and I didn't think too much about it. But seeing it in person was a little different. Definitely makes you consider all the other ones. So it lands on that cloud, and that's pretty much how it ends. I have the reverse one just to make it kind of clear. You can see it come out. This is a reverse one, just to kind of give that idea of it. So you can see it comes out right there. And look how it moves. Look how it moves so strange. It's like moving like it's alive. It's going behind the cloud. And watch, it's going to come out the other side, right? Right there, you see? Came out from the other side. And she's just wiping the screen to show it's not like a smudge or nothing. It was actually going in and out. So you can see kind of, it's easier on this one to see it going in the cloud. You see how it's going in and out of the cloud? I'll go back real fast so you can see. It's moving inside the cloud. Look, watch, if you look closely, you will see it. Right there, see it inside the cloud? I just thought that was crazy. See, it's inside of it. And then, see it inside? And then it comes out right there, you see it? It came out from the bottom. I seen it with my eyes. I actually got to, when she was recording it and she zoomed in, I actually seen it go in. It was like grayish black. It was like a blackish gray. Whatever it was definitely not a bug. It was just, see how it's going back. See now note how, remember on the natural video, this will be really bright. The reason why this is really dark. And then remember, this thing is really bright, and look how it go behind it, right? Because it makes it easier to see it going behind it. Watch it go behind it. Right there, you see that? I'm gonna slow it down just for the sake of understanding. I know that I should be zoomed in on it and whatnot. I'm gonna slow it down so you can see it go behind it. Turn this down. But this is in slow motion, and it's easier to see on the phone. But you see how it just came behind it, and it goes back behind it? That's it right there. And see, like that's a net. See that right there? My bad. Look how bright the net is, because the net is just like it's really close. So that's a bug right there. See that little thing right there? That little dot right there? That's a net. That is a net. This is something else. Now this is a net. Watch, the net gonna go away. See the net? It just flies out of the scene. But this, whatever this is, it was going behind the cloud, in the cloud, going to other clouds. You can see it's like in behind it. See how it's behind it? And then it's like kind of peeking out there. There it is right there. See? So it's kind of was just moving around. You can see the net right there. See, that's the net. See how a bug moves like that? This thing was hovering. Whatever it was like moving like an orb or something. I don't know what it was. To be honest with you, I can't tell you what exactly it is. It was just basically blackish gray. But for the sake of understanding, so that no one just think I'm just making it up, my wife, she's the one that caught it. Now, can you witness that this is true? Can you witness?
Yes, it is.
So my wife is actually the one that caught it. She's the one that recorded it. So what do you think it is?
I think it's a spirit.
She thinks it's a spirit. So maybe it is. It might be a spirit. I wouldn't doubt it, family. I wouldn't doubt that that's a spirit. We know that these things exist. We know that.
Yeah, they've always been with us, but because, like I was telling my husband earlier, because our lives are so busy and hectic, we don't take notice of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's the thing. If you don't look up, you're gonna miss a lot of things that's actually happening. That may be something happening every second around you. That these things may be happening everywhere around you. We may just not know. We may just not be watching for them. Our lives may be so busy that these things are just passing us by. But that's all right, because we don't give praise to those things. We don't give praise. No, we give praise to the Lord.
Amen.
But we can't deny that when we see them, if we catch them, if we see different things like this, we can't deny it.
Yeah, I really saw that. I was actually just trying to record the cloud because it was so amazing. On my first video when I recorded it, I didn't realize it at all until I went back and I was like, what? What is that? So I hurried up and started to do another recording, and that's when I really saw it, like the little orb.
Yep. I saw while I saw it.
Like,
I watched it. I saw it go
Yeah.
in and out of the cloud. I could witness to it. Obviously, like you see, I don't play around with this stuff. I'm not. It's
Yeah.
not something that I need to do. But this is something that definitely I couldn't deny.
Yeah.
I seen it with my eyes. I seen it with my eyes. I couldn't deny it.
Yeah.
See, I came behind the cloud to end. That thing, look at it. It's just like it's going in and out of the cloud.
Yeah, and like if you look really closely, you can see how it cloaks like with the cloud when it goes into the cloud.
See that? That's not what a bug does. A bug doesn't
No,
move
it's
like
not a
that.
bug, yeah.
A bug go and does its task. This thing is like I'm just having fun. Like I'm
It's
just
like-
trying to do this thing for now.
Yeah.
So just like there's like catching it moving around, and then look at it like lands on that somewhere over there.
Yeah, it looked like it was totally playing with the clouds.
Yeah.
Like playing in the clouds.
Yeah, it was interesting, family. And it's real. This is a real. I'm a witness, fam. This is a real,
Yes, like
actual thing that
I
was
even
seen.
called my husband in the room when I was like, seen it for the second time, and I called him in the room because I was like, someone else has to see this, and he saw it.
Mm-hmm.
He immediately saw it.
It might be.
It might be a piece of the cloud come to life. I don't know.
Yeah,
No.
it's and don't this cloud look? This cloud. I'm gonna show you. I'll take a picture of this cloud. This cloud is it's really interesting. I'm gonna grab it from our little conversation we'll be having. I'm gonna grab this picture because this picture is actually really interesting. I'll see if I can find it. If I can't, then I'll just grab it from my thing. Cause it was a crazy looking little cloud. I never seen nothing.
cool.
I never seen nothing like it.
Yeah.
The way that it looked, when I first seen it, I was like, that's crazy. It looked like almost like I can't even explain it, to be honest with you. I don't know where it's at.
It looked kind of like a bed to me, like a
It looked like
a chair or a bed.
yeah, it looked like a chair, how a throne would look. So look, this is you see this? This is what I took a picture of when I seen it. I don't know if I
Yeah.
caught it in this picture. I doubt it.
That's
Cause
amazing.
her phone's way. Lucky I didn't record it with my phone. My phone's. She got a 10. I got a little whatever phone. This phone is what I never caught it. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. But this cloud. This was we looked out and this is what we saw. There's this giant like. Look at that. Like, why is this part of the cloud like that? I don't even understand that. To be honest with you.
It was really awesome. When I that's originally what I was trying to capture, and then I just
Yeah.
It's a
It
little
was
guy
because
in
it
there.
happened in the middle of the forest and so yup, that's look at I seen a hand on my bed. I'm glad. It says I seen a tall yup, see this stuff happens, family. This stuff is we gotta keep watch because these
Yes.
things things like this, if we don't keep watch, these things can go, it can slip by. Because we know that sooner or later there's gonna be great signs and wonders in the sky where we won't be able to miss them. But there's gonna be like little things like that, kind of showing those signs of what's going on and whatnot. So this is just one of those things, and I just have it here, and you can get it like it's easier to slow it down and see it move it however it moves. And I'm a witness to it, family. That's why I put a scripture here and all that, and then the original just to show that even though it's edited and stuff and sharpened and the reverse video, just to make it kind of easier to see what's going on in this thing and tracking it to see what I try to see if I can figure out what it is, but I still don't know. I'm sorry. I have no idea. Sometimes
it was amazing though.
yeah,
To see.
it was amazing. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first seen it, I was like, That stuff happening around us right now. That stuff happening around us right now everywhere.
Yes.
But with that said, family, with that said, I want to go over this note I promised to go over, which is of the flat earth. If the earth is flat or if the earth is round, I wanted to do a fair video on that because I said that I was going to do a video on that while I was talking to someone that was having a ball talking about the flat earth. So let's talk about this. So now, first of all, obviously, I don't believe the earth is flat. I'm going to actually show you my biggest reason. I'm not going to go long into this, but I'm going to show you my biggest reason. My biggest reason is the eclipse. All the eclipse, they testify that the earth is round. Just to show a little video on understanding on what an eclipse is. This is going to show you a little bit on that. So this is going to show you a lunar eclipse. And it's going to show you, and it's going to show you also why we don't get them every month, why they don't happen all the time.
Understand the celestial mechanics of total solar eclipses. It really helps to make a three-dimensional model of the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun. So once a year, the Earth is going to move around this orbit. The yellow string represents the plane of the Earth's orbit around the Sun, the plane of the ecliptic. The hula hoop represents the plane of the Moon's orbit around the Earth. If they were in the same plane, then once a month, the Moon would move on the line between the Earth and the Sun, and there would be a total solar eclipse every month. However, the Moon's orbit is tilted by 5 degrees, so that as the Moon orbits, it can pass way above the plane of the Earth's orbit around the Sun.
Isn't that just think about that. While I go over these things, think about the power of God, because some of these information that you're going to see just shows you how God aligns things perfectly to what he describes that he has it for. Like he says, the sun, the stars, and the moon and all those things, or the moon, the sun, they're for signs and for seasons.
That means the shadow of the Moon misses the Earth. So most of the time, there is not a total solar eclipse.
Shalom, family.
We've moved around 3 months, a quarter of the way around the Earth's orbit. The Moon's orbit is still tilted, but in exactly the same angle as before.
Well, let's not say idiot or fool. Let's just say that was someone that got convinced that the Earth is flat. Someone else, people are convincing people that the Earth is flat, so we're going to do a study to make sure we know if it's true or not.
The Moon's orbit acts like a gyroscope as the Earth moves around the Sun.
You don't have to see the rest. It just talks a little bit about the cycle right there. Now let's get into this, right? So that's the understanding. That's a little bit of the understanding for the lunar and solar. But let's look at a little more. Let's look a little more into it. Here's another one.
We love our new home.
It's great. The HOA has been
And
very involved.
obviously, these are going to be different videos from different people. As on my page, I'm going to use different videos from different people. I don't care what they say, just to provide information because we're in the end. So whatever I need to use is what we need to do. So if you see ads, I'll turn the volume down. If it's nonsense, I'll do something to block it. So this is like, what is an eclipse, right? So it's going to show you what an eclipse is. And you know, most people, we know what an eclipse is, right? We know eclipse involves the moon, sun, and earth. It's a whole system involving the moon, the sun, and the earth. And this is going to give us different things. But there's two different types of eclipse. There's the lunar eclipse and there's the solar eclipse. This here, what you see where it says, now where you see the sun on one side and the moon on the other side, this eclipse is the biggest evidence for the earth being round. This is called a lunar eclipse. It involves the sun's rays beaming on the earth reflecting on the moon. This is the biggest evidence for the earth being round. Understand what I'm saying? This is the most, if you needed any other evidence, this is it. This is the evidence that you need to see. But let's proceed. So it just shows how, you know, the moon goes in, it goes, see how it's doing that? Now, what is happening here? It's actually going into the shadow of the earth. What is that curve? That curve tells you what? The earth is round. See how it curves on the moon? And we can see this because this is observation. This is actually observation. We can see, anyone can see. Anyone with a telescope or with eyes. You can see it goes right behind it. One day I actually accidentally seen an eclipse. Remember, we actually accidentally seen an eclipse. Didn't even know it was an eclipse that day. And it just shows you, like, it enters this thing. I think it's called an umbra. And it talks about, you know, how long it lasts and whatnot. And not just that, there's space stations, real space stations that can record and show you shadows that end up landing on the Earth. And this is a solar eclipse. A solar eclipse is when the moon goes in front of the sun. So that's a solar eclipse. A solar eclipse, just think of it like a lunar is where it's affecting the moon, where the Earth is affecting the moon, and think of solar as in the moon blocking the sun. So you see, that's going to be a solar eclipse. When the moon is red, that's a lunar eclipse. When when you see that big ring, when it's like a ring and then it's black in the middle, that's a solar eclipse. Which is also really awesome because the sun is 500 times further, yet 500 times larger than the moon, and it's perfectly aligned. And we know it's God who did that. We know God is the one who aligned them like that. You can see it's gonna, and in fact, we can trace their shadows. Sometimes you can trace. So you can see it's a big event. A lot of people do it nowadays. They keep watching those things and whatnot. Real space stations, family. There's real space stations that people got. We'll talk about that as well. If anyone don't believe that they're in space right now. Amen. See, a lot of wise people here. A lot of people know the Earth is round. So this is gonna be just strengths. But this is going to be for the sake that we did go over this. We're going to go over this. Let's actually see a real recording of an actual event. And remember, we're going to be using not NASA stuff because I know how some people get when they see NASA and whatnot. So I'm going to show videos of people who have recorded the eclipse. So these are going to be people that actually recorded the eclipse. So this is a lunar eclipse. So this is the one that we're going to go over. The lunar eclipse is the biggest evidence. So this is just somebody, see, he got a camera. He set up his camera. He always got 2 cameras. When these people are like that, they have multiple cameras. He got his satellites and whatnot, or his, not satellites, his what they called, telescope. He got his telescopes and whatnot. And understand this, family. Don't be afraid of science. Do you know science, real science, when it's done correctly, actually shows how ignorant atheist scientists are? Such as scientists like Kim Ham, who has the answers in Genesis that proves the earth had a flood. So don't think that science is always against the Bible. In fact, real science confesses the Bible. Just like they found out that Adam and Eve was actually the real original first people, because they know that we all came from one man and one woman, which is true. It's actual Natural Geographic and learned this, and as well as other things. But here you can see right there, that's the whole sequence. So he's like took a picture of every moment in time and he's showing the sequence of it. So he's showing the lunar eclipse and it's showing see how it has a curve on there? It'll have a curve on there on the moon. That curvature on that moon is from the earth. The curvature on the moon, his video of it. So now he's gonna show his video with his thing. He's gonna show a time lapse of it. See that curvature on there? And it's perfectly covering the moon. So look at that. It's covering the moon. It's a curvature on one side. And guess what? When it goes away, let's look what happened when it goes away, right? Let's watch it. Because remember, it's curvature on one side. And then we see it's fading away. And look at that. Fading away. Look at the curvature. Again, if it's curvature on one side and curvature on another side, what is it, a coin? No, it's not a coin. It's a whole round earth. So we see indeed that the earth is what? Round. It's the biggest evidence. It's the biggest evidence hands down, family. It's the biggest evidence hands down for the earth being round. It's the biggest evidence. It's the most biggest evidence that you can ever get. So this is just like a system of it. If the moon's in front of the sun, that is a solar eclipse. If the moon is behind the sun, that is a lunar eclipse. You'll usually see because the light from the sun, some of the light will be blocked because the sunlight is very powerful. And then you'll see that the moon will become kind of red. You'll see a red moon. But here you'll see that moon that will just have like that light on the outside of it. So this is just some diagrams. I'm not going to go over the whole thing like always. I'll just do the notes so that anyone can look at it. And if they ever have to challenge somebody with this is yours. It's yours to have. I got some interesting stuff. I'm not going to show the moon phases and all that stuff. But I want to show you this one. All these links are actually really interesting. But look at this. I want you to see this. So this is a moon shadow. This is actually this is the umbra of the moon. This is going to be really interesting. I'm going to go a little bit. I believe this is the one that I want to show you. These like all these videos are just regular people. These are regular, either like librarians, teachers, and stuff like that. Regular people doing regular things, having regular observations. And you can see here, he's trying to catch a solar eclipse. He got a giant balloon, right? He put a camera on a giant balloon. Guess what? Watch what he catches. So he's trying to capture the shadow of the moon, because this is a solar eclipse. So the shadow of the moon is gonna reflect on the Earth. What is this? Why am I showing you this? Because the flat Earth system is that the sun and the moon are basically hand in hand, like they're close to each other, like they're same size, close to each other. But look, the balloon goes up, and look what it catches. It's all the way in the air. Look, it's catching the curvature. Not just that, because some people, you know, they'll say like that's a lens like that. But look at it catch. You see what it just caught? Look back there. It's gonna catch the roundness of the moon on the Earth. That means the moon. See how this right here, the shadow. That's the roundness of the moon on the Earth. That roundness curves on the Earth. See how it curves on the Earth? If it was flat, it will lay flat down. See that curvature? How it bends on there? So that's another one. I'm not gonna show you the other ones. It's just some other ones where they catch the shadow and whatnot. Where they catch the shadow. That's some where I think they fly in a plane. Matter of fact, I should show you, because we might as well go over the whole thing, right? Unless somebody later on say, well, you did this or that, this or that. You know, some people, you know, they want to make sure we do everything. So this is an airplane. This is them catching the shadow of the moon. You can see here, this is just the shadow of the moon. And this is the shadow during the solar eclipse. Obviously, they're in the clouds. You can see they're in the clouds, and it's bending on the clouds. So that's just a shadow of it. I'm not going to show any more of that. But listen, this is what we just talked about. This is the awesomeness of God, right? Because the moon, just like you see here, how you see a solar eclipse, the moon is right here. It says the moon is 1/400th of the size of the sun, but also 1/400th of the distance from Earth, which results in the moon and the sun being the same size in the skies, a coincidence not shared by any other known planet known combination. Not a coincidence. Not a coincidence, because it's made by God. It's God who actually puts the order there. And we actually see that indeed this event of the solar eclipse is one of the biggest things that we can say, indeed, God is great. Just like he said in Genesis, he says, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night. And let them be for what? Signs, and for seasons, and for days, and for years. Let's talk about this. What's the days and the years? The cycle around the earth. When the earth goes around the sun, that makes the years. What makes the month? The moon cycles, that you get the whole month from there. But you know, the week, every place got a week, but the week was made by God. 7-day creation. That's how we got the week. There's nothing else that actually gives us a week besides God. So you actually can see here the signs and the seasons, and for days and for years. And then we know about the lights and all those things. So that's indeed very interesting that he makes those things just like that. So he makes these things perfect, very perfect. To me, understand this, family. To me, it's clear that this is actually one of the biggest evidence, because this is what I do. We focus on the strongest point. We can go through all the evidence, but let's focus on the strongest evidence. So this is the strongest evidence. Just for the sake of understanding, some people, you know, they don't believe we went to the moon. China went to the moon. China doesn't work with NASA. China pretty much hates America in a way, and they went to the moon. They went to the moon. Russia went to the moon. Pretty much almost every nation went to the moon, almost everywhere. So this is China's video of them being on the moon. Just for the sake of understanding, indeed, this is their video. This is taken from the European news, and they're just getting what China has submitted. You can see there's China all excited. What are they sitting there playing games? They're in a room like that playing games. No, they're not playing games. China doesn't play games. They're a crazy little group that we know that when it comes to things, they'll even kill people to cover up stuff. So we got to understand that when it comes to things like this, they're trying to what? Be the best in the world. They're trying to be the best in the world and trying to have a good image. But obviously, when it comes to these things, just keep in mind that indeed it is known by a lot of people that they had went up there. There's another one here. And for the evidence that they did go up there, if you ever seen this, they had a mirror put on the moon. This is a quick one of this person that pretty much goes to a place and shows how they put a mirror on the moon.
What's that? It's Johan,
And I'm gonna
the
show
laser guy
you,
from the Netherlands.
not this one. I'll go to the one under it. Here it is, right here. It just shows you the mirror on the moon. This is, I think it's MythBusters here.
There's time for just one final
Right here.
portion of the moon's surface devoid of all man-made objects, including retroreflectors. No, on the moon's surface,
Initiating laser.
Dr. Macmillan pulses 200 quadrillion photons into the night sky.
So we're shining the laser on the lunar highlands now, and we're getting nothing back except background light.
As expected, the lunar regolith, with its reflectivity index or albedo of approximately 8%.
This is actually how they measure the distance of the moon. This is why they know exactly that the moon is 500 times smaller and the sun's not 500 times, 400 times smaller and 400 times from the distance from the sun and the moon. So that's how you get that perfect eclipse system.
Simply scatters the beam, and the sensors back here at the observatory detect no reflected light.
Now I'm going to move to Apollo 15.
Apollo 15, crewed by Scott, Irwin, and Warden, set down at the base of the lunar Apennine Mountains, which is where they placed the retroreflector.
Wow.
That's the location where Apollo 15 landed on the moon.
That is so cool.
Initiating laser on a retroreflector from Apollo 15. And there's a spike beginning to stand out.
Is that it?
That's the return from Apollo 15.
So pretty much this laser, it records the return when it points the laser to this moon, to the certain part with a mirror, it gets feedback. And a couple different people recorded this. It's a real thing that's happening there. In fact, family, it's actually harder to fake the moon landing. Just for the sake of understanding, it's much harder. If you ever seen this person, it's a great video. If you don't believe the moon landing, you should see this video. You should see this video because he pretty much sits here and explains the complexity of back then during that time to even edit and make the moon landing look real. It would have been much more harder.
Folks,
Well, I'm gonna skip to
you don't, because the light source was 150 million kilometers away.
I'm not gonna go over the whole thing, but pretty much just that's 2 videos on that talks about that right here and here. Now, here's my 7 reasons why the Earth can't be flat. I'm gonna show you 7 solid reasons, family. These are solid reasons that can't be combated. They cannot be combated. Understand what I'm saying? Reason number 1: a flat Earth can't do lunar eclipses. A flat Earth cannot do lunar eclipses, family. Understand that. A lunar eclipse is impossible with a flat Earth. On a flat Earth, the moon is too close to the Earth, and the sun. Wait, that's it again. The moon. Let me say it again. On a flat Earth, the moon is too close to the Earth, and the sun. Understand that. The moon and the sun are too close to the Earth, pretty much. The moon and the sun are too close to the Earth. If you ever see a flat Earth chart, the moon and the sun are too close to the Earth. I have one right here. This is what the flat Earth chart looks like. This is how they design it. They have the sun and the moon further out, but it's still, you see them both. You'll see them both at the same time. If you was in the middle of the Earth, you'll see both of these at the same exact time. Look at Greenland. Look at Greenland. Look at how it doesn't even get darkness. You see how it would have seen the sun and the moon at the same time. It would have seen the sun and the moon at the same time. Just to keep that in understanding. So that's why that also means there will be no moon phases. A flat Earth means, you know what, when you see the moon, let me show you something real fast. If you see this, you wouldn't see this. You wouldn't see these. Why wouldn't you see these? Because a moon phase this is not possible in a flat Earth with the system that they have. This is impossible because the moon is too close to the sun. The moon is way too close to the sun for that to work. So it's important to understand that is on a tilt. That's how you get those phases. And it says right here also, it says, where is the evidence of the ice wall? Family, where's the evidence of the ice wall? One of the things about the flat Earth is that there's supposed to be an ice wall. There's supposed to be an ice wall around this thing that's supposed to keep us in. You know how many people would go crazy about the ice wall? They'll be like, look, I'm at the ice wall. There's no evidence of an ice wall. In fact, there's evidence of them flying over Antarctica, family. They fly over Antarctica, so we know how big Antarctica is. We know that they flew over it. So we know that that's one of the things that we need to understand. There's no ice wall. There's no evidence of an ice wall. We know also one thing: planes going in one direction would fall off if there was an ice wall. We know that planes go one direction around the world. Some planes go one direction, family. They go one direction to another side of the world. Sometimes they'll go one direction. They'll go one direction to other direction. We know that they went every direction, and none of them flew off. Another number 5, it says if the earth was flat, every plane or everything high up in the air, such as buildings, would see what? The whole earth, no matter where they are. Because if you had a plane, right? What if I flew a plane? What would I see? The whole earth. I would see the building. I would see I would see cities from a distance. Because if the earth was flat, I would be able to visually see everything. Number 6, we would see both the sun and moon at the same time. That's the same thing. You would see both the sun and the moon at the same time. But this one just talks about the phases because they're too close. You wouldn't see the phases of the moon. Scroll back down. Because they're so close, you won't see the phases of the moon. But also not just that, we would see both of them at the same time. In fact, if we would see them both at the same time, because of we know the power of the sun. We know the sun is hot. We know the sun has a lot of power, family. We know it has a lot of power, and it wouldn't allow there to be night on the earth at all. If the sun was facing the earth at all times, there would be no night. If the sun was facing the earth at all times, there would be absolutely no night. Also, Isaiah 40. This is number 7. Isaiah 40:22. This verse says, "It is he that sits on the circle of the earth." Some people are like, "Oh, look, circle, flat, circle, flat," right? Yep. Some people are like, "Oh, it's flat, it's circle." Let's look at that up in the Hebrew. What is that? Chug. What is chug? Vault, horizon. What is a vault, a horizon? A hug, something that curves around. A vault, a horizon. He says he sits on the horizon of the earth. So understand that the scripture is actually declaring to you 2 things: a horizon. And how does a horizon work? There's like a sunset. You see how the colors bend on a sunset? Why would the colors bend if the earth was flat? Why would the colors bend for a sunset and a sunrise if the earth was flat? Because then it wouldn't go down. It would go over. I've never seen the sun float in the air and not go down, right? We all seen the sun go down. In this video right here, I'll show you real fast. 2 videos of the sun going up and down.
I'm an avid runner. I work in the service industry.
I'm a community person.
I'm a human being.
Okay. So I'm going to show you right here. Man of my word, we had to finish this. So you can see that's nighttime. Look at how the light's bending, right? See how the light's bending? You can see the sunset. You see it go down, right? You see. So that's, as you see, the light bends. See how the light bends? The reason why it bends is because of curvature. The earth is curved. That's why you get a bend of light. You only see and understand the reason why you get that shade, that beautiful color when the sun goes down is because that all the reds start to come out. The sky, if you look at the sky, is blue because the color blue is the brightest and it's the strongest color of the color chain. And blue is why you see the sky like that. But when the sky bends, when the sun bends, right? When the sun bends, then you see those colors. You see the reds and the extra colors, the purples and stuff. You see all those colors because of the bending from the sun. And then you get nighttime. You see how it's kind of setting the night? Just like that. And that's a couple things how we know there's no flat earth. Also, this over the horizon, the classic thing for a boat going over the horizon, the understanding of it is deep too as well. I'll let it kind of explain that right here.
Welcome to the empty horizon. Keep in mind that this is an empty horizon. There are no visible boats. As we zoom in, we see 2 boats appear along what I call the wavefront edge, which is the blue line of last discernible water.
So I'm not gonna show the whole thing. I'm just gonna speed it up. I didn't mean to go to the quality. Go to playback speed. I'm gonna speed it up for you. So it just shows you, see how the boat it came from the horizon, Because that's one of the things when it comes to boats. They come from the horizon. They go out of the horizon. When they come, you can see them come from the horizon, and when they go, I used to see this a long time ago when I was living next to a place with a lot of water. All of a sudden, you see boats come out of nowhere. It looks like they're coming out of nowhere, but that's what's happening because the Earth is so huge. It feels flat, but it's not flat. It's an illusion. It seems flat, but it's not flat. It's just a simple illusion. But when you get the actual understanding of certain things, it's not flat. So there's just the video of most people who's spreading this. Family, the people who's spreading this most of them are not Christians. Most people who spread this stuff aren't Christians. Most of them are just spreading it just to make a name for themselves.
Convince any doubters, but there are still some who.
You can see, it's so much study out there, but that's stuff that right here. See, there's like conventions and stuff.
It's not measurable. It's not provable. It's not real.
Right. How old are you guys, just out of curiosity?
27.
Do you think it's a growing movement?
Yes. And we're networking. We're getting stronger. People are realizing it. It's coming out in the media. You're hearing the term flat earth is becoming more normal. People are more open-minded to it.
He's not wrong. A recent survey of Americans found that 2% believe the earth is flat. For the U.S. population as a whole, that works out to be over 6.5 million people.
6.5 million people believe an obvious error, family. That shows you the type of world we're in right now. If people are believing an obvious error, then how much more for the deep secrets of the scriptures? There's a lot of deep scriptures, a lot of deep secrets in the scriptures that don't give understanding enough for people to understand. But unless they understand prophecy. I understand. Let's see. I'm gonna read some of the stuff he said because that. The sun shall be turned to darkness. Yep. Turn to blood. Yep. So this is just an example of
even high-profile artists and athletes are getting on board.
Flat. So I want to try to find Mark Sargent, who's one of the leaders.
I'm not gonna show you all of that, obviously, but let's go back, right? So, is the Earth flat? No, the Earth clearly isn't flat. But no, I've seen a really interesting video I want to share with you. This is what the Earth will look like. This is what a Discovery Channel thing would look like if the Earth was flat. And I'll let you see it.
Looking down from 2 miles above the surface of the Earth.
Okay.
Looking down from 2 miles above the surface of
Again, this is like some parody or something. I just want you to see it. This is just what if the Earth was flat, right?
Earth. It's impossible not to be impressed by the sheer grandeur, splendor, and power of the natural world. But perhaps most impressive of all is just how very flat it is. No matter where you venture on this humble disk of ours, you will encounter flatness. From the arid sands of the Sahara Desert to the shimmering waters of the Palawan coast. Everywhere you look, guess what? It's flat. 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 Here we are at the ends of the Earth, Antarctica. Of course, while the flatness of our planet may be awe-inspiring, it presents many dangers for the natural world. While these penguins may look cute, in truth, they are some of the bravest creatures on Earth. They live in constant danger of wandering off the edge of the planet. Here is a curious lad. What were to happen if I jumped off the side of the planet, he wonders to himself. He makes the leap to find out. Sadly, this young flightless bird is now destined to fall forever through the endless recesses of space. Wherever he is going, we cannot follow. And yet even further away still, on Australia's Great Barrier Reef, we meet these young hatchlings. Every year, hundreds of sea turtles are born here and venture off into the water, but only a small handful return as fully grown adults. The reason is clear. They are cosmic beings whose flippers double as wings to propel them off the edge of the Earth, soaring into the great unknown. Farewell, space turtles. Perhaps one day you'll come back and share your space wisdom with us. Of course, some may continue to operate under the notion that the Earth is not flat, but in fact a rotating sphere. But creatures like this frog, this kangaroo, and even this grasshopper will happily tell you otherwise. For if the Earth was truly rotating underneath them, would they not land in a different spot from whence they jumped? Even we of the species Homo sapiens never forget that this flat Earth belongs to all of nature's creatures, from the tiny shrew to the colossal blue whale, and to the mutant lizard people who live in the hollow tunnels millions of miles below the Earth's surface, developing technology for our Illuminati overlords. We are all lucky to call this flat Earth our home.
That's home. There it is.
Join us next time when we explore the Hollow Earth.
How deep is this?
There it is. That's what it would be like if the Earth was flat. It'd be nonsense. It'd be nonsense. We got to think about it. Is the Earth round or flat? The evidence clearly shows there's no way for the Earth to be flat. And again, the best evidence is standalone, is the lunar eclipse. The lunar eclipse is something we know for a fact. If anyone ever asks you, is the Earth round or flat? Indeed, the Earth is round. Indeed, the Earth is round because of the lunar eclipse. There's no way. There is 0% chance you can use. There's nothing you can. In fact, how do you even get an eclipse? How do you even get an eclipse like this? How do you get an eclipse? There's no way you can. There's no way you can get an eclipse like this, family. There's no way. There's 0% chance of getting an eclipse. Zero. -5, family. -5. There's a -5 chance that you'll get an eclipse here. -5. So this flat Earth thing doesn't even work. The whole system collapsed on itself. Because the person, whoever made it, shame on the person who made it. Shame on the person who tricked them 6 million people. Shame on them. And shame on anyone else who's continuing in spreading such lies. Because it's bringing in errors, family. It's bogus. It's absolutely bogus. There's no way you can get such a thing like this. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. We know that what do we see? We got telescopes, family. We got stuff like that. We know every planet is round. Every single one. Every single planet is round. You think all of a sudden the Earth is going to be flat? Why would someone think the Earth is going to be flat? I just wanted to go over this because, I just wanted to go over this because I just wanted to make sure that we are talking about this. We did bring this forth. We did talk about it like we said we was. But indeed, family, the Earth is round. So I just wanted to bring this forth to you so that everyone can see. I don't know if anyone believes that the Earth is flat, they can bring some evidence. We'll look at it and we'll see what they're looking at. Because it'll be probably like if there's something, we'll look at it and we'll prove that it's not what they think it is. Because the Earth is huge. As we see, that's a lot of miles. There's no way I can even show that on the GPS. That's just a lot of miles. You know, that's a lot. That's how big the Earth is. So it's huge. The Earth is huge world. It's a giant world. That's why a lot of times when we walk, it looks flat. It looks flat, but it's not. It's absolutely not because of the eclipse. So you know, that's I guess that's it for today. We'll go back tomorrow. We'll do some more deep studies. Today, if you guys have anything you want to go over and study, and we'll find like strong points to those things. And for me, family, the biggest evidence for a flat Earth is the fact of no ice wall and the eclipses, which are impossible for the flat Earth, as well, especially family, especially the lunar eclipse. So with that said, family, be blessed.